Hello and welcome to this month's edition of To Talk. This month we decided to go out on the road, and we are out here in East Cobb at McFarland Nature Park. And joining me today is Karen Guzzi, who has been with the park since 1992. And so why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about the park and who runs it and who helped maintain it.
Well, welcome to McFarland.
Thank you.
McFarland Nature Park is a little bit of a secret, I guess. It's 11.5 acres out here in East Cobb, and it is owned by the Cobb Land Trust. That makes it a privately held public park.
So it's not actually a Cobb County park?
It's not
like
a Cobb
people are
County
used to,
park.
Right?
It's a privately owned public park, and we're open every single day, daylight hours. It's just a very serene place. It was left to us by Mr. and Mrs. McFarland in their wills.
Okay.
They obviously were very fond of the park since they had their ashes spread here. So they're still here with us.
Yeah, that's great.
But the Land Trust got involved because it has some historic implications. This 11.5 acres is just a small piece of a larger agricultural holding that was originally owned by Hughes Spalding, who was one of the original partners at King & Spalding law firm in Atlanta.
Okay.
He built this farmhouse in, we're guessing, 1941-42.
There's actually a lot of areas in Cobb County, in East Cobb, I know over where I live, that some of the founding families from Atlanta would come up here to Cobb County to kind of in the summer.
You know, it was a long trip then, you know, to go out to the country.
That's true, dirt roads, which, by the way, the dirt road that comes into the park is one of only two public dirt roads in the entire county.
That's right, and DOT takes good care of it for us, which I appreciate very much.
Well, it makes it easy to come in here. So now we talked about the history, so let's talk a little bit about some of the parts that, I mean, there's a whole lot here. You said 11.5 acres.
Right.
You know, obviously the caretaker lives in the house.
Right.
But what are some of the other features that folks would see when they came out here?
One of the biggest things about the park, and I think one of the biggest draws to the park, is that the Master Gardener volunteers from Cobb County are very loyal to the park. They're here every Tuesday morning, and they've built really extensive display gardens here. Everything planted outside of the immediate farmyard is native to the Piedmont area. So all of our trees, all of our perennials, they have display gardens that are labeled behind the stable, and there's a 280-foot long perennial bed that runs next to the driveway.
Okay, now I know that the Georgia Native Plant Society does plant rescues, because one of the things that the county does with new zoning applications is puts in a stipulation that they, the developer will allow a plant rescue, a native plant rescue.
That's wonderful.
Now, do they bring those rescued plants out here?
Some of their rescued plants do end up here at McFarland, and also they have their annual native plant sale here in our front pasture.
Which is coming up.
It is coming up in
folks
April.
can look at the your website address on the bottom of the screen here to find out more about that plant sale, because it is coming up, right?
It is coming up in mid-April, and it's a really big event. I mean, you wouldn't believe how many plants are
I've
displayed
been here.
out
Yeah,
here.
the plants are all over the place.
It's very impressive, and they always set aside some special plants to be planted by the Master Gardeners here at the park.
Okay. Now, I know that you have some other volunteers come out here.
We do.
And we'll show the folks when we walk around the park a little bit, and after the break. The Boy Scouts come out here, have done some projects.
We have had a lot of Scouts here. We have over 30 Scouts who completed their Eagle projects here at the park. And Mount Bethel Church has their Great Day of Service every year in March. And they always send a group of people out to the park. And one of their main things that they do is remulch our trails through the woods.
Okay.
But they get involved in other projects at the park as well.
Yeah, because I think they're coming out here sometime soon too.
Yeah, I think in just a couple of weeks they'll be
Okay.
out here for their annual Day of Service.
Now, there's a pavilion, and we're going to show some folks that. So how could people get involved if they wanted to come out and volunteer?
They would need to contact me and let me know what their area of interest is. We always have a need for people to be involved in the park. One of the main things that we need is some backup on some of our kind of background activities. We need help with our website to keep the information up to speed. The Master Gardeners always welcome people to come. They're here every Tuesday morning at about 9 o'clock.
You don't have to be a Master Gardener. You can come
Don't have to be a Master Gardener.
They'll kind of direct you what you need to do.
And if you're not anxious to get your hands dirty, they also welcome you to come and just look at all the plants, and they'll take you on a little mini tour of the gardens.
Okay. And so the viewers can see on the bottom of the screen here the contact information for you, which is through the webpage.
Right.
So if they want to find out more information on how to get involved.
Right.
Well, let's go to a break, and when
Okay.
we come back, we're going to take folks around to the different parks because there's the outdoor amphitheater, there's the
Right.
flower gardens like you talked about. So we'll come back from a break and we'll take them out there.
That's a plan.
So we'll be right back. Welcome back. We've kind of moved from the original house, and now we are over in the pavilion area, which is kind of the iconic view that people know of the park. Karen, why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about this? I mean, I've been here many times with the Boy Scouts,
Right, of
but there's a
course.
lot of people that use this area.
This area is used by just about everyone who comes to the park. It was one of our very earliest Eagle projects, and he and the troop did such a fabulous job on building it because everyone, who comes here wants to eat pretty much. So we're really close to the fire pit.
Right,
We're
there's a
really
fire pit right
close
over
to the
there, yeah.
fireplace.
Yeah.
And we're close to parking. So everyone who comes to the park and all of our groups end up being around the pavilion.
Well, one of the nice things about it too is it kind of, that kind of activity happens here and kind of preserves the rest of the park
Yeah, that is
for
nice.
people to kind of walk around. Now
People often.
the other thing that's here is the big exhibit.
Yes, we're really excited to have that.
And so why don't you tell folks a little bit about the exhibit, because it pretty much goes all the way around the field here.
We were very fortunate to get on the list. We've been waiting 3 years for this exhibit. It's on loan to us from the Morton Arboretum up outside of Chicago. And it's an exhibit of 18 panels talking about endangered trees of the world. And there are several panels that are interactive. But we think it's really in keeping with our future at the park, where we're trying to develop McFarland into a mini arboretum
Okay.
of Piedmont native trees.
And we talked a little bit about that on the porch there, that
Right.
the Georgia Native Plant Society and folks are bringing some of those here and
Right.
labeled those trees.
And Keep Cobb Beautiful has provided us with quite a few native trees as well. It's part of the mitigation program.
Right, with the cob trees. Right.
Right.
Okay.
So we're very fortunate to have over 100 native trees identified at the park.
Okay.
And
how
one
many,
of
are
the
there any
eagles
of the native trees that we have here, are any of those on the exhibit?
they
any
are
of those
not.
endangered?
Those are trees of the world.
Okay.
We do have some endangered plants on the property, and I try not to identify them.
Right, yeah, we don't want to do that. We don't want people to say, no, I like that plant.
Yeah, I'd like to take that home.
So, well, let's do this. Let's go down to the exhibit,
Okay.
and we'll show the folks one of the interactive panels.
Okay.
And show them how it works.
That's the plan.
All right. All right, so it looks like what I have to do here is crank this handle.
And we're hearing violin music because they're talking about a rare plant that provides wood for the bows.
Musicians have long relied on the Pau Brazil tree for making premier
Okay, so it's a Pau Brazil
instrument
tree.
However,
Okay, and if I had cranked it a little bit longer, we would have heard
Right.
the whole thing. But basically, the exhibit looks like it shows how the bow is made from the Pau Brazil tree. And this, I think, is what, a little bit of the...
A monkey puzzle tree.
Okay.
And there are different trees that are featured on each panel. One of the things that people don't think about much is the endangered trees, of which there are so few. They worry a lot about the pandas. We have 2,500 mature pandas, but we only have fewer than 100 Willemmy pines left in the world. And these trees provide, or have the potential to provide, a lot of benefits to us, especially medicinal ones.
Well, matter of fact, the next panel over is about the pharmacy in the trees.
Oh, well, let's
so
go
let's
look.
go over and take a look at that
Yeah,
one.
good plan. Many of these plants provide a lot of benefits to us with medicines.
Right, and here we have the panel that talks about the pharmacy in the forest.
Right.
And exactly what you were talking about at the last panel was the Pygean pine. Looks like it comes from Africa, or at least that's where it was originally found. And what the panel talks about is, it kind of asks you a little bit of question here, and then when you fold back, you can kind of see actually the medicine
Right.
or the dietary supplement that is produced from that tree.
And what's even more important, although we know what this tree will do for us, is that many of these endangered trees have potential that we don't even know about yet. And if we allow them to become extinct, we'll never know what the benefit to us might be.
Right, and now it says it faces a high risk of vulnerability.
Right.
And as we lift up the panel, it tells us what the threats are. And for this particular tree is the medical exploitation, and which damages the bark during harvesting.
Right. It's not being harvested carefully enough to preserve it in nature.
Well, and since we would love for people to come out and see the exhibit,
right,
we're just going to stop at these two panels, and we're going to go to another section of the park. But if you want to see more about the exhibit and the other trees that are endangered and what they provide to us, come on out to McFarland Park and take a look at the exhibit. You said there were 18 panels?
There are 18 panels.
So, all right, let's go to another section of the park.
Okay.
All right, we've now moved over to the outdoor amphitheater, or the outdoor classroom, which has, as folks can see, a lot of benches.
Right.
So there's a lot of opportunity for classes to come out here, or different
That was our intention, was to have it available for that.
And once again, the website address is on the bottom of the page,
right,
the screen here, and that is where folks can go to find out more information about the exhibit we just talked about, and when you're open, but also how they can sign up to use this outdoor classroom.
Right. Although there is no cost to use the park, we do try and schedule larger activities or events just to avoid conflicts between groups.
Okay. And now, in addition to what folks see on the screen right now, off to our side here is one of the larger field areas, which also folks can sign up to use. But now, of course, there are restrictions. This is not a athletic
not an
facility
athletic
like
field.
one of the county parks.
It is a passive park, and so we do restrict some activities at the park. We don't have music, we don't have blow-up bouncy toys for the kids, and generally all you need to do with the kids is open the car door and turn them loose.
Right, yeah, it's really, as folks can hear in the background, we've got the birds chirping and the flowers are blooming, and that's really what this is all about, to come out here. Now, one of the other really neat features about the park is the labeled trees.
Yeah, we were really blessed with a wonderful Eagle project where this Eagle Scout and his troop came out and identified over 100 native trees here at the park.
Well, let's go take a look, because there's some benches over in that kind of area, and so let's go over and show the folks what that looks like.
That's the plan. Let's go.
Right. All right, so now behind us is the Master Gardeners, one of their gardens where they plant their native plants. These are all labeled just like we talked about with the trees. So folks get an idea what, when they walk around and look at the trees, what the tags are going to look like. Little tags in the ground with the names on the trees, and even in here, if you look back here, you can see all of the different things that are identified and labeled.
It's a good place to shop for what you want to put in your own yard. You can see what it looks like when it's
mature. And you also know
mature.
that it's going to survive.
Exactly.
Because so many times when you go to the nursery or whatever, you're like, it looks really nice on the shelf in the plastic pot.
Right.
Take it home and it doesn't survive, but all these are native.
These are native, and they all have a very long history of having evolved with all of the insects and all the animals that live in the Piedmont.
Right, because it's not just the soil, the clay soil, but it's also the insects, the watering, how much rain or how much, how hot it is in the summer.
People worry about an upcoming frost in the spring, but the plants have lived with us longer than we've been around.
Right, yeah, the weather doesn't change that much. So tell the folks, are there any plans for any future improvements or changes to the park?
Our plan is not to change the park. We want to do exactly what Florence and William asked us to do, which is preserve it in its natural state as a passive park and a serene place to be.
Well, I think it's a beautiful spot, and when folks come out and take a look at it, I think they'll agree. And like Hyde Farm, I think they'll be surprised that such a beautiful area is in the middle of East Cobb.
Well, I hope that they come out, and I hope they appreciate it. The exhibit will be here through the end of June. And the park, we hope, will be here forever.
Great. Well, I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Bob.
All right. That's all for this month. We'll see you again next month on To Talk.
makes you smile.
Reliable sources say that chicken soup has found their way out of this dangerous, but they are returned.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Hey.
Ready to go?
Yeah, but the fire's not out.
Close enough.
Close enough? If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. I mean, the next thing you know, you've torched our whole neighborhood.
Which is why we're not going anywhere?
Exactly. 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
This is one amazing truffula tree. Can you imagine a place where these grow everywhere? Yes, it's called the forest, a magical place to enjoy with your family.
Ooh.
So discover the forest and explore all the wonder that's there. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
The Cobb County Safety Village is the most comprehensive safety training environment in the region. Located in central Cobb County, the Safety Village aims to provide the highest quality of safety education available. Primarily designed for elementary-age school children, the Safety Village provides hands-on life safety training. Education is the key to reducing risk and protecting our community and its residents, and the Cobb County Safety Village is the first in Georgia to offer this kind of learning experience. On the 8-acre site is a large multi-use education building which includes classrooms, a cafeteria, offices for employees, and an auditorium made to look like the historic Strand Theater in Marietta. There is also a station for inspecting car seat installation, a free service provided to the residents of the county by Safe Kids of Cobb County, which includes 3 mechanics bays that provide shelter from the elements as well as heat during the winter months, as opposed to before when seat checks were done outside. After walking through the reception area, visitors are greeted with what looks like a small house. This is known as Sparky's house. In the hallway, which is made to look like a street, there is a replica of a telephone booth and a small tree. Sparky's house actually consists of a living room, bedroom, and kitchen, creating an incredibly memorable learning experience that mimics some life-threatening situations that children may face in their own homes. The front door of the house opens to what looks like a regular home on the inside. In Sparky's living room, children are taught about the 3 elements of fire, shown what objects around the house are more subject to catching on fire, and then the home fills with smoke from machines and steam heats the doorknob at the exit. Children must then maneuver, crawling across the floor to keep away from the smoke, and feel the door with the back of their hands to see if there is fire on the other side. The children then open the door and crawl outside to safety. When they are in Sparky's bedroom and the room fills with smoke, the children must then climb out the window with a safety ladder and meet up at the family's arranged meeting spot, the tree outside of the house. After these lessons, children participate in a simulated 911 call, complete with a live operator answering at the other end. Children are also given classes from police officers regarding topics ranging from what to do if approached by a stranger, what to do when you're home alone and hear a knock at the door, and what to do if they find a gun in the house. Interaction and participation by the children is highly encouraged and also provides for a better learning experience. The Safety Village's goal is exactly this: teach children in a unique and unforgettable way and make it as interactive as possible, but do so in a manner that is controlled, supervised, and above all, safe for the students. The David Hankerson Education Building is only the first part of the children's experience. The Safety Village itself is a working village. The land has been paved like a small neighborhood and designed to look just like that, only on a reduced scale. The Safety Village is a child-sized representation of our county, complete with real trees, scaled-down operative buildings with signage, small street signs and traffic lights, and even model homes. Site elements used throughout the village reference those found around the Marietta Square to help give the scene a recognizable and authentic look. The site features 4 distinct areas, which are the Marietta Square, a commercial district, a residential district, and an industrial district. Since it has opened, the Cobb County Safety Village has improved the fire department's efficiency in training students by 200%. Twice as many students have been able to take part in this safety training than last year before the Safety Village opened. It is easier and requires less manpower to have a centralized location, which helps to reduce scheduling conflicts. Before, when 2nd and 4th graders participated in their state-mandated fire safety program, a fire truck with a trailer housing a far less advanced scenario similar to Sparky's house would have to travel out to each school individually and could only handle one small group of students at a time. The Cobb County Safety Village allowed them to build a more complex scenario, which teaches the children more effectively, and they have room for multiple classes at one time. Children will benefit greatly from the knowledge that they will encounter through observation and participation. Learning is essential to a child's mind, and taking part in the process is crucial. The philosophy is simple: tell me and I will forget, show me and I may remember, involve me and I will understand.
You wanna go for a ride?
When I saw your face for the first time, I wondered how your life had been. Had anybody held you or loved you? Or had they never noticed you there? What are you doing here? If your eyes could cry, I'd see a tear. The sadness that I see, your coming home.
Why are you turning in this dog?
Be the best of friends.
Well, we're moving.
How long have you had the dog?
11 years.
You understand the dog will likely be put down?
Yeah.
I'll need you to complete the surrender if you would, please. You're giving up all rights to the dog. Are you okay with this?
Both my eyes have filled with tears, knowing one will find a home, leaving others fate unknown. You're killing our best friend. There's only so much one can do, that's why I'm out here asking you.
Did you want to keep the collar?
I don't think so.
Don't run away from your fear. That lovers need to learn and finally be concerned. They're killing our best friends. There's only so much one can do, that's why I'm out here asking you. How can you help me?
Every year, in Metro Atlanta alone, nearly 90,000 unwanted animals are put to death. It is epidemic and unnecessary. The problem can be fixed. Spay and neuter your animals. The time to act is now. Stop the needless killing. Please help us. www.mostlymutts.org.
Each year, our children are put at risk by drivers who ignore bus stop arms and warning lights. In Cobb County alone, more than 1,000 drivers ignore them every day. The Cobb Police Department and Cobb Schools have partnered with Operation Stop Arm to educate drivers about the new law to save lives.
Tragically, a young child was killed at a bus stop by a passing car in 2009.
While we were being interviewed by the news crew, a driver ran through the stop arm of the bus.
We had just installed new stop arm cameras on some of our buses and were able to hand the photo over to law enforcement. And now, with the new law, hopefully we will reduce violations of the stop arm law and have additional evidence to cite violators.
Drivers who pass a school bus with a stop arm activated can receive up to a $1,000 fine from the court and get 6 points tacked onto their driver's history. It is a serious offense.
So next time you're in a hurry and you're tempted to pass a stopped school bus,
Today is Saturday. Today is Saturday. Salad on Saturday, fruit on Friday, throw a ball Thursday. Water Wednesday, touch your toes Tuesday. Let's move Monday, swap a snack Sunday. All the healthy children eat well and move a lot. And move a lot. And move a lot. Eat well and move a lot.
60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. So keep them active and eating well every day.
Skip a rope Saturday, freeze tag Friday, tap dance Thursday. Whole grains Wednesday, try a veggie Tuesday. Let's move Monday, split the sweet Sunday. Eat well and move a lot. Today is Saturday. Yeah. Today is Saturday. All the healthy children, all the healthy children.
Get ideas. Get involved. Get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
Every child is curious. George, look what I found. Turn their curiosity into a lifelong love of learning. Create a curious reader. This is super bedtime reading. Share a book together today. Visit read.gov.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.